A few months ago, one of my favourite bands released a song with this lyric.
Embers ablaze, long throws always.
Long throws always. That gives me an idea. Can we rebuild Stoke City with a team focused around scoring as many long throws as possible? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. So first things first, we need to make 11 new signings. We can make a decent amount of cash from selling our pathetic squad who can't launch a ball with their arms, and it's actually easy to afford this squad. Can you understand the tactic we're going to use just from looking at these names? Probably not, to be fair. Some of these players are quite obscure, but Shaqiri is 6'7" with aerial plus and power header playstyles, while Lorenz, Castro Montes, Pack, Sommers, Blum, Brown, Malone, Paitao, and Abdul Hamid all have the long throw plus playstyle. Miguel in goal is 6'9", but he also has the long throw goalkeeper playstyle, so he seemed the most appropriate too. Sure, Abdul Hamid is now the highest rated player in the championship, but the rest of the squad is pretty believable for a team in the second division. Now, to be honest, I have no idea if this is going to work. Headers on simulation sliders are quite hard to score, and we're going to be relying on Shaqiri to score as many as we can throw at him. Before we commit to a full season of championship hoof throwing, let's test that it is actually possible to score a goal. Pre-season is a good chance to test weird ideas, and this is one of the weirdest ones that I've ever had. It turns out, while it is quite hard to win throw-ins naturally on FC25, if you do close control near the touchline, you can win dozens of them per game. It does look a little bit weird when you're trying to win these throw-ins, but now we have 9 players with cannon arms ready to fire at Shaqiri. Does it actually work? Well, honestly, not really. We can launch straight into the 6-yard box, and Shaqiri should be able to win almost anything he wants, but most of our headers either loop slowly onto the roof of the net, miss the target altogether, or are just caught straight by the goalkeeper. Learning how to properly head is something to work on, but there is proof in pre-season that this idea could somehow work. When I started recording this video, Stoke were 19th in the championship with a real chance of going down, but our target's actually to hit the playoffs and give Wembley the gift of Rory Delap's Hoof Throw FC. Can we actually do it? Well, our season starts out against Coventry, and while we do get a few early throw-ins, it isn't the best start to the season. When you think about it, this challenge really has 4 parts. The first one was building a team that could do throw-ins, the second one is learning out how to get throw-ins, the third part was how to aim them, and finally the last part is how to score them. I think you'll agree that the team is perfectly set up to exploit throw-ins, and we do know how to win them and aim them. It's just that final touch, that most important touch, getting them into the back of the net that we're still kind of struggling with, even after we've done about 10 long throws in the first half. We do start getting a little bit better, but still, we can't get Shaqiri to win that header. So, instead of shooting from every single long throw, we decide to start flicking them on, and that does actually provide some good chances. But still, after an hour of the first match, we're still 0-0, despite doing this many throw-ins. So this challenge isn't only score from set pieces or only score from throw-ins, instead, it is just playing a regular season with a massive emphasis on trying to score from as many as we can. So we scored our first goal of the season there, a decent cross header, and our second goal of the season was really nice from Shaqiri, proof that he can actually score a goal in the championship, which is actually a lot harder than it seems. So with 10 minutes to go, we do one last throw-in. We actually don't even get near the ball, but we get the bicycle kick, and finally, we get our first throw-in goal. A long throw, flicked up, and bicycle kicked in. It doesn't really embody the Stoke spirit, but we'll take it anyway, as we get a 3-0 win on our first game of the season. So, somehow we actually got this idea to work. We do need to refine things by playing against an easier team, so it's perfect timing for a first round Carabao Cup game against Cheltenham Town. They have a pretty small team, but we can't be relying on overhead kicks to go in every single match. Let's see how we can get on in this match. So, just like we learned in pre-season, we can dribble near the touchline and win throw-ins almost at will. But what a throw-in that was, and it took just 3 minutes for us to score a proper headed goal from a long throw. There wasn't even a run-up from Abdul Hamid. What an absolute beast of a throw. We would actually go on to win this game 3-0, pretty comfortable win, but the most important thing about it was that I learned holding down L2 gives you a lot more space and a lot more chance of winning headers from long throws. Now we have 2 lots of proof that this is a fully workable tactic. We've actually scored 10 long throw goals in our next 15 games, and even though the start wasn't perfect, some of these goals are really worth showing. Plymouth Argyle were our first victims. They had a Spanish centre-back that I can't pronounce his name, but he was only 5'11", so we made sure to take advantage of his height. Recently promoted Oxford United were next. They're not used to the physicality of the Championship, so another southern team felt the embarrassment of football's simplest goal scored in such a cool way. Hull were the next northern team to be on the end of our barrage. The throw was so perfect it could have been Tom Brady playing left back, but Chorry was there yet again, knocked it on, and what a finish that was from Ravitch. The Swansea goal proved that our tactics could work internationally. Wales' best team lost to a team that only trained set pieces. So, the long ball strategy could clearly work, right? Well, I'm not sure that this is actually sustainable. What you're watching right now is a compilation of over 300 long throw attempts. Just like in preseason, we've not actually managed to figure out a way to score headers. The only reason we've actually managed to score as many long throws as we have this year is that I've just learnt how to win loads of throw-ins. Chorry should be winning at least 75% of these balls in, right? And at least half of the won headers should be going on target. Well, I'd estimate that he actually wins about 5% of them, and of that 5%, only another 10% will actually end up on target. So to score 20 goals a season, he'll need about 2,000 long throws, and honestly, I don't have the patience to throw that many balls in. However, we can do something else. Do you remember when Xherdan Shaqiri played for Stoke? Well, we can actually re-sign him and change our strategy a small amount. He has the dead ball play style, he has 85 free kick accuracy, 87 curve, so we can pack the boxes on every single kind of set piece and be lethal from throw-ins, free kicks, corners, and now penalties. We are a quadruple set-piece threat when Xherdan Shaqiri rejoins Stoke City. Of course, we are about to cause so much chaos in the Championship. Before we do that, we need to make him take every single corner, free kick, penalty, and everything that isn't a throw-in, just to try and get as many balls on Chorry's head as is physically possible. This is proper Stoke City now. Even having Shaqiri back feels absolutely amazing. It actually only took me about 10 minutes to get our first long throw against Burnley, and Shaqiri was a big part of the chance that followed, knowing exactly where to stand even though he's only just joined the club. A few minutes later, we have another long throw, and Chorry gets two pretty lucky bounces, recycles the ball to Marlon Pack, who can't quite break into the box himself, but we press high. Pack wins the ball back, and that's Shaqiri running into the box, and that's his first goal on his debut, and again, that goal is actually the result of a long throw. Another long throw comes in just before half an hour, and Trafford is nowhere to be found. Chorry heads it over him into the back of the net. 35 minutes gone, and he gets on the end of another one. It deflects, and this time it's Castro Montes who's there to tap the ball into basically an empty net. We got the 3-1 win, but we were becoming so efficient at set pieces now that we were scoring from at least one or two in every single match. Over the next few months, we got even better. So as we progressed in towards March and in towards May, we were relying less on wonder goals like this one against Millwall and relying more on really high XG chances like penalties that Shaqiri was more than confident enough to Panenka into the back of the box. Of course, we were still trying to score from long throws. We would have chances like this where Chorry wouldn't even get on the ball, but we would still be able to make chances. These chances led to corners, and corners led to even more chances for Chorry. It was a constant snowball of us improving at set pieces, relying on Shaqiri to do something magical, or eventually hoping that Chorry would score from a corner header. But even when we weren't shooting, our combination play really improved, and things were just looking so good for Stoke City. So, going into the final game of the season, we are already confirmed in the playoffs. We can use this match to get some form, keep practicing our set pieces, and just see how we get on, and we actually do both of those things. We win 3-2, but Shaqiri gets a ton of corner practice, as well as scoring 2 penalties. Who knew that Portsmouth was so dirty in the box? Anyway, in more important news, it's playoffs time, and we've been drawn against Burnley. We already know that Burnley have a bit of a weakness to set pieces. We scored a couple past them just when Shaqiri first joined the club, and now we have the opportunity to beat them twice and head to Wembley. We absolutely have the height advantage over Burnley. Their goalkeeper's not very tall, neither of their centre-backs are that dominant in the air, and all we need to do is not make any mistakes. But unfortunately, we do exactly that within the first 10 minutes. Paitao, one of our long throw specialist centre-backs, is sent off. Burnley had the best chance to score a set piece against us, but decided to pass it short, which really is never going to work. But anyway, we would then continue our aerial barrage. We had a throw-in that was deflected out for a corner, and finally Chori would get on the end of one of Shaqiri's perfect balls in and celebrate just like Richarlison loves to do. From a Burnley corner, we decide to counter, and I don't know if we can count this as a set-piece goal, but it was a total counter-attack. Abdulhamid running 90 metres to tap the ball past James Trafford. Of course, as you'd expect, we kept trying to win corners, and we got a good one just before half-time, and again, Chori would leap highest over Joe Worrell, and that would be 3-0. We were absolutely crushing Burnley. Just after half-time, 57 minutes gone, Shaqiri on another corner, and on the other end of it, yet again, is Chori. I feel kinda bad with 3 corner header goals, but don't write Burnley off just yet. 65 minutes, there's a goal. Burnley go all-out attack, trying to get back into this, and in the 68th minute, there is another goal. Lyle Foster gets in behind in the 84th minute and makes it 3-4, and then finally in the very last minutes of the game is equalised to be 4-4. I've never seen a team be as ruthlessly efficient at scoring as Burnley. Just as we're built to be the set-piece kings, they're built to be the counter-attack kings on FIFA. So, that must be one of the craziest games that I've ever played for a video. Throwing away a 4-0 lead is not good, but I admit I did feel like I was bullying the AI when I had my 3rd corner header go in. Anyway, we can still get to Wembley. All we have to do now is win one match at Turf Moor. So, could we go from a cold rainy night in Stoke to a fairly mild summer night at Turf Moor? That was the question. We got a corner within 20 minutes, and would we do it again? But we were so close, it was cleared off the line. I couldn't believe it when that happened. We got the ball back in, Chori was nearly on the end of the other one, but no, still 0-0. It was actually Burnley had the next chance. They would score, go 1-0 up, and that's 5-4. We've conceded 5 goals without scoring in these playoffs. We need to be a bit more focused on getting the next goal, which we do. What a cross that was, and it was an even better header from Somers back into the team. He would then also score from a counter-attack. They're not set-piece goals, but they're definitely 2 goals that we needed to score, otherwise we would have been out in the playoff semi-finals. So, now we were ahead, we could go back to playing for set pieces, trying to waste time and trying to get the ball onto Chori's head. The long throw didn't really work, but corners have always been big against Burnley, and yet again, Chori scores another one. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a certainty that we'd score every single corner. Most of them would end up like that, going over Chori's head and into a defender at the back post. But in this game, I don't know if it was because Masengo was playing as a fullback, it just seemed like Chori would win everything. He would finish the rout off, making it 8-5 on aggregate, 4-1 on the day, and putting Stoke City into the playoff final when they're on absolutely insane form. I hope Wembley is ready, because long ball is coming to London. Out of every single team in the Championship, if we could have picked 2 teams to play against in the playoffs, it would have been Burnley and Sheffield United. Burnley have some very weak and quite small centre-backs, while Sheffield United's are even weaker and even smaller. It was only good news that Jack Robinson was going to be starting for Sheffield United in the final. He has 54 sprint speed, he has 71 strength and 74 jumping, as well as being 5'11". We were going to target this guy, and there's no wonder he used to be a fullback before he joined Sheffield United. It took us 5 minutes to get our first throw in, and do you remember the first goal we scored? Well, we tried to recreate it at Wembley. That would have been one of the all-time best playoff final goals, but Chori couldn't quite pull it off. Shaqiri would have plenty of corners in this match. The first one skimmed straight off Chori's head, and that's much more typical than scoring a goal. But with 16 minutes gone, I was fearing the worst right here. I thought that was a red, but for some reason the referee gave our horrific challenge as just a yellow card. Out of all the matches this season, this was by far the hardest one to win set pieces from. It seemed like all of the defenders on the AI's team had anticipate, but then again, Saeed Abdulrahman looked like he had some playstyles right there too. We would have another chance, and this time again it would go over Chori's head. So in the first half, we've not really made a single chance from open play or from set pieces, which is super rare for us, and also got punished in the 48th minute where Ryan Brewster would put Sheffield United ahead. Their short corner kind of inspired us. What if we do a short free kick? And honestly, it looked like it was going to work. Chori turned his man, and it did in fact work. After all of these matches where we've been pumping balls into the box, in the playoff final, of course, we score from a short free kick. From the last 15 minutes, we decided to go back to basics, pumping as many balls onto Chori's head as we could. We nearly got him behind there. The pullback probably would have resulted in a goal, but nothing was happening. It looked like it was another playoff final destined for extra time. Shaqiri tried an ambitious one from outside the box, but still, the ball wouldn't even go out to a corner until finally it did. I'm not sure why Sheffield United are celebrating. They know what we could potentially do from this one. Chori leaps, but it's another great save from Davies. But we have one last corner. Shaqiri in. Chori jumps, and it is in! With just 2 seconds left in the half, in the playoff final. Our strategy plays off in the biggest way possible. Shaqiri's whipped cross onto the head of Chori. That is 2-1, and what a leap it was. He was 1.59 meters off the ground, which is barely anything when you consider he's over 2 meters tall, but what a header it was. We just had to hold on now for another 20 seconds. Chori getting involved, a nice violent challenge. We weren't going to give Sheffield United space to shoot. Abdul Hamid would fire it way over the top of Chori, and the referee confirmed it. I really can't believe how that match has ended. Somehow, the last minute, the 90th minute, we get the corner to go in. That feels like proper Stoke City heritage right there. And as we watch Xherdan Shaqiri lifting the championship trophy, we can confirm we are going to be in the Premier League next season. Of course, let me know if you want me to continue this series. I could probably do a different kind of money ball because I don't think long ball is going to really work in the Premier League. But let me know if you want me to try and maybe turn Stoke into a ball-playing team that's really good on the ball, or a perfect counter-attacking team. Some kind of total shift up when we go to the Premier League. But yeah, like this video, and if it gets to 5,000 likes, I will make a part 2 with Stoke City in the Premier League. But until then, hopefully you've enjoyed Rory Delap's long-throwing Stoke City getting back to the top division. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching so much. Cheers and goodbye.